Hey guys, here's a really quick tutorial on a few false cuts and a few false shuffles. So a false shuffle is exactly what it sounds like. Some moving of the cards, but the cards aren't actually switching any places. For example, the Four of Hearts, it's on top right now. I do one of my false shuffles, Four of Hearts is still on top. Um, Another one is, remember the Four of Hearts and the Nine of Diamonds. Go ahead, here, do one of these cuts, and the Four of Hearts is still on top, Nine of Diamonds is still on the bottom. Okay. The first thing you need to learn for most false cuts is something called a swivel cut. And what that is just a lifting of the pack, just like this. You do that by starting off in middle grip, which is lining up your middle finger and your ring finger, or even your pinky if your hands are smaller, and to the top of the cards, and then your thumb on the bottom of the cards. And then all you have to do is lift up a portion of the packet with your pointer finger, and then just take it with your left hand. And I suggest you just practice this movement until you get that down and the cards aren't too misaligned. So a lot of the times, most of the time the cards are going to be slightly misaligned after you do a swivel cut, but then you just adjust it a little with your fingers from your left and right hand so that the cards are aligned again. So that's the first thing. Here, let me teach you the very basics of what a false cut is. The one most people learn out at first is called a double undercut. It's basically you swivel cut about half the deck. You keep your thumb break right here, and you lift up half of that bottom portion of the deck, put that on top, and then take the other half where that break was, and then put that back on top. So I'm gonna flip over this top card so you can see. So half the packet, half of that packet, half of the other packet. From a side view, half of this packet, half of that packet, and right where this break is, the other half. And you want to do it in a way so the timing goes like this. So this one you can do a slow motion, but this one has to be relatively in time. So 1, 2, 3, like that. And just practice that cut over and over until you can do this smoothly. This is one of the easier false cuts to learn. Another one that I found was great was you swivel cut the deck 2 times. So you swivel cut the deck once, twice, and then you hold on to that with your other fingers. Put this packet down on the table or somewhere, down, down, and basically just watch the top of the card. So top, middle, bottom, middle, top, and the cards are still in order. And in performance speed it looks something like that. And I usually do that after like some other fancier false cut routines. For example, if I do one of these, then I cut, and I say, okay, now that looks fair. Well, not fair, but now I cut up the card so I don't know where it's going. So that's another easy one. You just swivel cut the top, swivel cut again, and grab it with your what I do is I grab it with my pointer finger and my thumb, and I balance it with my middle finger. And you want to make sure that these two have space, so you grab the right packet of cards. So you grab that, then bottom, middle, top. Once again, top, middle, bottom, middle, top. An easy false cut. The next one, it's a little more complicated, but it's pretty good. It looks something like this. So it's a 3-packet cut, just like that. And what you do is you swivel cut once again, and you take the packet, but this time you take it with your index finger and your thumb. I like to curl my index finger. It's just kind of actually, yeah. What you should do is when you receive the top packet, receive it with your index finger curled, so that your first knuckle is on this card, about almost halfway. I would say maybe a fourth of the way down on the card, and the thumb is on the top. So you receive that packet like this, then you come over with your middle finger and just grab the outside edge, and then together you move it out. So basically your fingers are grabbing and then they're moving out together like this, like you're flicking a card or something. So once you get that movement down, you're good. So then what you do now is you add it with more motion on your right hand. So I cut, I flip this over, and while I'm doing that, I make another swivel cut. I think it's called a V cut. So you flip this over, make the V cut, grab the bottom packet with your palms, hold that, kind of curl your fingers a little bit, put this right on top of your middle finger, use your ring finger and your thumb to now grab that middle packet, and then go ahead and swivel over the top packet and then set it right on top. So in fast motion it looks like that. So once again, cut, while I'm flipping it, V cut, grab with these fingers, twist, put it on top, just like that. And a variation of that is a 4-packet cut, which looks something like this. And basically what that is after you do this cut, instead of grabbing this with your 2 fingers, well, you grab it, and instead of just dropping this top packet, you split it in 2 again. So you grab, and then you flip over this bottom one that you cut, and then the top one you cut, and then put this one right on top, just like that. And this is another thing you'll have to practice, just rotating it through your thumb like this. So after you swivel the cards, try just rotating around this thumb over and over, and then later on rotating it around this thumb and your left thumb, just like this, and then both ways. So you want to practice up, then down, up, then down. And you want to be able to kind of twist it around your thumb and your middle finger and things like that. So once again, that's what cuts like this. So to recap, there's 3 or 4 false cuts. You have double undercut. We have just a 3-packet cut. That's one of my favorites. It's the easiest one. Another 3-packet, a little more complicated, and then the 4-packet cut. So just go ahead and practice that until you can kind of do it smoothly and do it in performance. Stick with the ones that gets you the most consistent results all the time. You don't want to try and be fancy and just drop the cards in the middle of a performance. So yeah, just practice, and you'll get the hang of it.